we've had an interesting 24 hours. And I told you guys about Kirk Cignetti on Wednesday. I said that the Indiana administrators and the pundits and you know, athletic administration was going to have to pay the piper to keep their head coach in town. Looks like they did that. We'll talk about that. Plus, go over last night's, I'm going to call it AARP Bowl between the Steelers and the Bengals. Pretty good game. Plus, it's Pick'em Friday. Got to make my picks. I'll make my picks for the 5 most intriguing and interesting college football games for week 8 and all my NFL picks for week 7. We're going to get into all that right now. Big O with the big mouth right here in the Sports Ozone. Last night, the Steelers and the Bengals went at it, and it was called a whole bunch of things because, let's face it, the NFL quarterbacks that were in that game, Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco, have a combined age of 81 years old. So they called it everything. The Geritol Bowl, the Geriatric Bowl. I called it the AARP Bowl. Now, technically, you have to be 50 to join AARP. But in NFL parlance, this was the AARP Bowl. And it was a good game. Now, I'm gonna tell it like I always do. I can't stand neither one of these teams. I ain't supposed to. I hate the Steelers. And I don't really care for the Bengals. But this was a pretty good game. It was. Ended up being 33-31 in favor of the Bengals on a McPherson 32-yard field goal with about 7 seconds left. But in all fairness, it wasn't about kicking game. It was about the quarterbacks. And both quarterbacks had good games, especially Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco had probably the best game he's had, I don't know, in a year or two. But he had a really good game. He was 31 of 47, 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, was only sacked twice, had a quarterback rating of 108. He had a damn good game. Now here's the question. Was that because he finally had some weapons to throw to? Or was it the fact that the Browns made a huge mistake letting him go, thinking his skills had just completely diminished? I think it's a little bit of both. Personally, I think it was the fact that the Browns thought his skills were just gone. And the fact that they didn't have no... And when he was with Cleveland, he had nobody to throw the ball to. Let's face it. He didn't. I said when this trade was made, when the Browns traded Joe Flacco to Cincinnati, I said, Joe Flacco's numbers are going to improve. They're going to have to improve. You know why? Because he has not one, but 2 I wouldn't say Hall of Fame wide receivers, although one of them is heading towards that way. But he has 2 all-pro wide receivers. 2 wide receivers you got to account for on every possession. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I thought that's all he needed. He didn't have that in Cleveland. He had, at best, Jerry Jeudy. And he drops the ball a lot. He had a tiny Njoku. He's all right. But even he tends to drop the ball every now and then. He didn't have bona fide all-pro receivers in Cleveland. He just didn't. He does in Cincinnati. Hence the numbers. That's all he needed. Time, a line that halfway block for him, and some receivers to throw the ball to. 340 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. And he looked good doing it. So who got the better end of that trade? We already know. We already know the Bengals got the better end of that trade. Now, are the Steelers mad at the Browns for trading Joe Flacco to the Bengals? I really don't think the Browns had the Steelers' thought process in mind when they made this trade. When you talk about the Browns, they made this trade simply because they wasn't going to play Joe Flacco no more. The season was a bust. And they had two rookie quarterbacks. They had to see who they going to ride with. Which one of these two rookie quarterbacks is going to seize control and try to be the quarterback of the future for the Browns. So there was no room for Joe Flacco. But Joe Flacco showed last night at 40 years plus years old, he can still swing it. You just got to get him the weapons to do it. And Cincinnati had the weapons. The Browns don't. That's the difference. I knew Joe Flacco was going to ball out when he got to Cincinnati. I knew it. If the line held up on him. And it did just enough. Now, let's flip to the Steelers side. Aaron Rodgers threw 2 interceptions, but he also threw 4 touchdowns. So, but that Steelers defense, oh my God. I'm not going to say it looked as bad as Dallas' defense is. But it's close. Now, I'm sure, like I said, I hate the Steelers. One of the teams I hate more than any team in sports, except maybe that team up north, Michigan. Those two teams I hate more than any teams in all of sports. But I'm not here to preach the hate. I'm here because I tell it like I see it. And what I see from the Steelers, I want to ask all the Steelers fans out there, all of them, the way they played last night, especially on defense. Now, I know they're 4-2, still leading the AFC North. But do you honestly think that team, as constructed, the way they played last night, is a Super Bowl contender? That's the question I'm posing to all the Steelers fans out there, all those terrible towel-waving fans. Does that team look like a Super Bowl contender to you? I believe they'll make the playoffs if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy. If Aaron Rodgers holds up for the rest of the season, I believe the Steelers have enough offense to make the playoffs. I even win the division. I still got a 2-game lead. But my question is, could they beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? Could they beat the Bills in the playoffs? Could they beat the Chargers if they make the playoffs? That's my question to you Steelers fans. With the way they played last night, the way the defense looked last night, giving up over 470 yards. Does that team look like a Super Bowl contending team to you? Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think they needed a little bit of more help on defense or a little bit more aggression. I mean, this is Pittsburgh. They supposed to have that steel curtain defense. Didn't look like it last night. Sure didn't. That steel curtain had a few holes in it. I don't know, a few divots that need to be plugged up. That's what it looked like to me. You give up 470 yards in total offense and give up 342 yards to a 40-year-old quarterback. And you only sacked him twice. I mean, it's not like Flacco's the most mobile of QBs out there in the league. And at 40 years old, you ain't that mobile. Trust me. You're not that mobile at 40 years old. But to let him sit back there and pick your defense apart. Jalen Ramsey, I know he had to have Jamar Chase in his nightmares last night. 16 grabs for 161 yards and a touchdown. He picked Jalen Ramsey apart. Made him look like a rookie. Like, what you doing out here trying to guard me? That's what he looked like. Like Jamar Chase, like, how dare you try to guard me? What's wrong with you, dude? Even T. Higgins had a decent night. 96 yards on 6 grabs and a touchdown. The Bengals, if they can show up the defense a little bit, they could come back into the mix. They're only 2-4. They can come back. No, they're 3-4. My fault. They can come back into the mix. If Joe Flacco can deal like he's been dealing with the weapons he has, I wouldn't say the Bengals season is over quite just yet. I wouldn't go that far. We'll see as time moves on. But the Steelers, again, I believe they'll make the playoffs, as much as I hate to admit that. I ain't gonna lie. I hate to admit they're gonna make the playoffs. I hate to admit that. I'll be the first one to tell you I hate to admit that. But will they make it to the Super Bowl? Not with that defense. Not with that defense. That defense, that steel curtain, they better plug up some holes in it. I don't know what they're gonna use. Spackle paste. You know, cover it up with some glue, something. They better do something. Use some duct tape, cover the holes up. Do something. They better do something about that defense, or I'll see them as a one and done in the NFL playoffs. Get in, play one game, you're out. The Steelers, I mean, they couldn't stop Joe Flacco on a drive you needed to stop to win the game. They couldn't do that. I know back when Big Ben was playing that defense, oh yeah, this game would have been over. Oh yeah, they're going to get that stop. But it seems like that's not the defense of the Steelers now. They can't get that one stop that they need to win the game. And that's going to be a problem. I'm just telling you. I don't think with that defense as the way it is playing right now that they could beat Pat Mahomes in Kansas City. They can't beat Josh Allen in Buffalo. Even if Joe Burrow comes back by the end of the year and the Bengals happen to make the playoffs, I don't think they can beat him. If the Bengals make the playoffs with Joe Flacco, I don't think they can beat him. Not with those weapons. Not the way the defense played last night. Like I said, still curtain, plug some holes. But that's what I look at last night as the Bengals pulled out a 2-point win at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers in what I call the AARP Bowl. But it was a good game. It was, despite the fact that I hate the Steelers and I don't care for the Bengals, it was a pretty good game to watch. I really did like it. Going on in the sports ozone. Now, let's jump back to college football. Now, I said, if you watched or heard my Wednesday podcast, I said I gave you my three leading candidates to take over the head coaching job at Penn State University. And I said my number one candidate was Kirk Cignetti of Indiana. I said that. And I also said Indiana will need to pay the piper. They were going to have to open their checkbook to keep Cignetti in Indiana. It ain't going to be cheap. And I know a lot of people like, yeah, they don't have to do all that. Indiana's a fly-by. They ain't going to need to do all that. They just seen somebody either heard me say that or got out in front of it already. Because yesterday, Kirk Cignetti signed an 8-year, $93 million contract extension, averaging $11.6 million a year, guaranteed. Makes him the second highest paid college football coach in the FBS. Second highest. You got to pay the piper nowadays. Keep your coach. And I knew Indiana had to get out in front of this because they knew. If they didn't know, I knew. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you fans knew that Penn State was going to come calling. No matter how this season shook out, they was going to come calling. And I guess the athletic department and the administrator of Indiana said, "Oh no, you ain't. You ain't coming to take out. You ain't pulling our coach away. We ain't trying to have that." Locked him up for the next 8 years, and I say well deserved. Now, some of y'all out there might say he's overpaid. He ain't really done nothing. You got to remember the history of Indiana football. What history? Exactly. Exactly. Before last year, when you thought, like I said Wednesday, when you thought of Indiana football, Indiana athletics, you thought basketball. Indiana is a basketball school. Not no tradition, nothing in football. And you're right. They're losing his team in FBS, in the history of FBS college football. They were a bottom feeder. I mean, for decades. You know, the top Big Ten schools, the Big Ten schools, the hype ones, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, and those, they see Indiana on their schedule and say, oh, that's a win. Check it off already. That's a win. For decades, it was like that. Indiana was the bottom feeder of the Big Ten for decades. It ain't like that no more. And why? Kirk Cignetti. He came in, changed the entire culture, brought in some players from James Madison. He changed the whole outlook of Indiana football. And nobody saw it coming. And he's proven this year that last year wasn't a fluke. A lot of people were poo-pooing Indiana. They just had a good lucky run. They ain't gonna do nothing. It's just a 1 year aberration. They'll be back to being what they were. It don't look like that. They are sitting right now at their highest ranking in the AP poll in their history. Number 3. They have never, ever been ranked that high until now. Of course you got to pay that coach if you want to keep him. You had to. Indiana had to. They knew, as well as I do, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you knew, that Penn State was going to come calling. I mean, they were going to come calling. And then they got out in front of it, as they should have. You want to keep the coach that's brought your team back to the relevance you have never seen. You want to keep that coach. And you have that. Now, do I think they overpaid him? Maybe. Who cares? He ain't going nowhere. That's the point. They might have overpaid him. They might not. I know some crazy thing. Indiana pulled the trigger on paying them this much too early. Because what has he done? Has he won the Big Ten yet? No. He made the playoffs. What happened? They got beat. So why are you paying him so much money when he really hasn't done anything of significance yet? Why? Look at their ranking. Look at their ranking. When have you known Indiana football to be ranked that high? I'll wait. Exactly. They have never been ranked that high. And Penn State, with all their resources, the money, NIL, all that, they can afford. If they can afford a $50 million buyout for James Franklin, they're going to pay Kirk Cignetti if they can get him. And Indiana got out in front of it, did what they had to do to keep their head coach, to keep the good times rolling. They had to overpay. Sometimes you got to do that. This is college football now. It's not just sport. It's a business. And in business, we all know money talks and BS walks. So they got to pay. You got to pony up them ducats. Like a few years ago when Colorado, when they got Coach Prime, Coach Deion Sanders. You know they had to take up some kind of collection from the alumni and all that to get up the money to pay him to come to Colorado. But they did it. Money talks, BS walks. And that's the way it is nowadays. So I applaud Indiana for doing what they need to do to keep their head coach and keep the good times rolling. I have no problem with it. If they overpay, we'll find out. But right now, it was a good move. It was a great move for the university and for the football program. And I applaud them. And I applaud Coach Kirk Cignetti. Go get that money. I think you earned it. You brought a school football program from absolutely nothing. Nothing for decades to the highest relevance they've ever had. Go ahead and get paid. That's what I say. Now, I think now that he's off the board, I think the leading candidate is Matt Rule from Nebraska. I wouldn't be surprised if they get him. And I'm posing that same little thing I said for Indiana. I'm saying it to the Nebraska people. If Matt Rule is your man, you better pay the man. You better pay the man. Extension, bump up in pay, whatever you need to do. If Matt Rule is your guy to lead your football team, you better pay him. Because I think after this season, no matter how it shakes out, if you don't pay him, he gone. He gone. He gonna be a Nittany Lion. And all you're gonna do is like, damn, here we go again. Well, you don't want that to happen, pay the man. If you don't, he gone. He gone. And you wouldn't be able to blame him. But that's what I think is right now the leading candidate for the Penn State head coaching vacancy. It will be Matt Rule from Nebraska. He's known to be bringing programs up, making bad programs good and good programs great. He's done that. Of course, he didn't do that well when he went to the NFL and the Carolina Panthers. But he jumped right back into the college football ranks and he stayed there. And he's doing what he does, bringing programs back up to a little bit of relevance. So why not? Penn State is not that far away, really. They really are not that far away. They just got to learn how to beat the big boys, not only in the Big Ten, but on the national stage. That's all they need to do. They can recruit. They bring in good players all the time. Saquon Barkley, Michael Parsons. They bring in great players that even go on to great careers in the NFL. Their problem is they can't win the big one. That's been their problem. And what they need is a head coach that can win the big one when it matters. Beat the Ohio State, beat the Michigans, beat the Oregons in the Big Ten. That's what they need. Can they get that? We'll find out. But right now, that's who I see should be moving over to the Nittany Lions and taking his shot at bringing his team back to the highest of relevance. We'll see what happens. Watching the big old with the big mouth and the Total Sports Ozone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. But now, it is Pick'em Friday. That's right. Pick'em Friday. That's right. Pick'em Friday. Tell them again. That's right. Pick'em Friday. This is when I make my 5 picks for what I think are the best college football games for week 8. And I'll make all my NFL picks for week 7. So, without much further ado, let's do the college side first. Let's do the college side. First one on the list, we got number 20, USC, on the road, heading to South Bend to take on number 13, Penn State. This is a 7:30 Eastern kick. Prime time. Probably be on NBC. Got Notre Dame favorite at 9.5 with over-under of 60.5. Both teams need this game, and they know it. Both of them. Loss pretty much knocks from either team. Pretty much knocks them out of any chance at a college football playoff. I think both teams know that. Notre Dame lose, that's 3 losses. You're not getting in. USC loses, that knocks them out of the college football playoff, but they still should be ranked. They'll probably be ranked at 25. It all depends on how bad they lose, if they lose. USC is trying. I mean, it's like they're up and down, but they have the potential to go all the way up. But these are games that they gotta win. USC, Lincoln Riley, he's trying to get this team back on the rise, and this is a test. This is probably be his last test on his schedule to let the community know, the nation know, and Trojan Nation know that this team is clearly on the rise, and they can knock off a desperate Notre Dame team. Let's face it, they're desperate. They can't afford to lose another game. They know it. So they're going to play desperate. They got to. And if USC can roll in the South Bend and roll out of there with a victory, it'll show the nation, oh, yeah, we on the rise. You better watch out. You better watch out. Now, do I think USC is on the rise? Hell, you beat Michigan. Made them look silly. So, yeah, I think you're on the rise. But you got to show me you can do that on the road. You haven't done that in at least the last 2-3 years. You got to show me you can do that on the rise stuff on the road. And I don't think you can. I'll take Notre Dame to win the game, but I think it's going to be real close. I don't like the 9.5. I'll take USC to cover. I think if USC will probably lose, but it'll be by less than a touchdown. So I'll take Notre Dame to win, and I'll take USC to cover. Again, all my picks will be against the spread. So I will take Notre Dame to win the game, but I'll take USC to cover. Now I believe it's going to be a high scoring affair, so I'll take the over on the 6.5. I wouldn't be surprised if both teams light it up. But that's my pick for Notre Dame and USC. Next, you got a good one in. Probably my next 3 picks will probably be from the SEC. Because you got ranked on ranked teams. I think 3 ranked on ranked teams from the SEC. So 3 games, I would say, ranked on ranked teams. And it's all in the SEC. So, first one, good game. This should be a good one. Got Alabama at home. They're ranked number 6 right now. Taking on number 11, Tennessee. Ooh, I bet they hold them one. Ooh. Tennessee, Alabama should be breathing fire on this one. Hey, they should. And they should. And I think Tennessee's in trouble. Look, Tennessee had an opportunity to show the nation they were on their way to being on top when they played Georgia, and they blew it. And they blew it at home. That just shows me, yeah, you can beat, most of the other teams in the SEC, the second tier and below teams in the SEC. You ain't beating the book. You haven't probably beaten the big boys in the SEC. You have a chance against Georgia, you blew it. And now you got to play Alabama in Tuscaloosa. They ain't lost since they lost Florida State. And they got 2 big wins on the road against SEC opponents. Against Georgia and against Missouri. So do you really think they're going to let you, Tennessee, roll up into Tuscaloosa, Bryant-Denny Stadium, and come out and win? I don't think so. Not with the way they're playing. And Simpson, the quarterback for Alabama, he's pretty much played his way back into the Heisman Trophy conversation with his play over the last 3 weeks. So I don't think Tennessee has a chance. Honestly. I'll take Alabama and I'll give them the 8.5. I think Alabama will blow Tennessee out of the building. I really do. With the way they've been playing, and they're at home, yeah. and I know they're gonna be looking for a little bit of vengeance. Oh yeah, I think they blow out. I think they blow Tennessee right out of Bryant-Denny Stadium. I'll take the 8.5, and I'll pick Alabama. I'll lay that 8.5. They can have it. They can have it. I'll take Alabama. We got the over under at 58.5. I'll take the under. I don't think Tennessee will be able to keep up with Alabama on the scoreboard. So I'll take the under with Tennessee and Alabama. That is a night game, 7:30 Eastern. Next, we got, you can find it, Ole Miss on the road against number 9 Georgia. Ole Miss coming in ranked 5th. We got the spread as Georgia with a 6.5 point favorite with over under of 56.5. Now, Ole Miss has to prove something to me before I can put them in my top 5. Before I can put them in my top 5, they got to prove something to me. They got to prove that they can beat a highly ranked SEC opponent on the road. Lane Kiffin, I know he's done it once, twice, but he ain't did it this year yet. And he has to prove it to me before I can put him in my top 5. I'm sorry. Here's your chance. Yeah, you're on the road against number 9 Georgia. Georgia knows they got to keep pace with the Alabamas and the LSU. So they can't afford to drop another game, especially in SEC play. Here's Ole Miss, ranked 5th, coming in their house. Offense, they can run the ball very well. They can throw the ball a little bit. And the defense is somewhat decent. What can Georgia do? But Georgia has a tendency of, Georgia plays like, they look at the beginning like they ain't going to win this game. But they just hang around. They just hang around. And they just hang around. Next thing you know, you look up, they in the lead. Next thing you know, look up, they extended that lead. And next thing you know, you look up, they won the game. I'm like, how the hell did they do that? Did it last week, y'all? I know it was controversial against Auburn, but that's what they did. They hung around. They hung around. Next thing you know, they won the game. That's Georgia. That's Georgia's DNA makeup this year. They let you think you gonna get them, and they just hang around, and they just hang around. They just hang around. You know. Next thing you know, boom. It's like a dude, like you take your woman to the party, and there's a dude out there in the corner. He's just hanging around, looking at your woman. He's just hanging around, still looking at him. You don't think nothing's gonna happen. He ain't gonna do nothing. He's just hanging around still. Hanging around still. By the end of the night, he went home with your girl. And you stand around looking, what the hell happened? That's Georgia. They hang around. And they hang around. And they hang around. And next thing you know, they done won the game. That's Georgia's makeup. And that's why I believe Georgia will win this game. I do not think Georgia will win by 6.5. Why? Again, they just hang around. And they just hang around. And they just do enough to win the game. This is Ole Miss. Their offense is lethal. I believe Georgia will win, but not by 6.5. So I got Georgia to win the game. I'll take Ole Miss and give me the points to cover. The over-under is 56.5. I'm going to take the under on this. I believe both offenses going to make a mistake, maybe two, that cost this from being a high-scoring game. Probably a fumble or an interception, but I don't believe it'll be a 56.5 point game. I'll take the under. Again, Georgia will win. Ole Miss will cover. That game's at 3:30 Eastern. Probably on CBS. Another one from the SEC. We got number 10 LSU going on the road to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt? Yes, Vanderbilt. They're ranked 17th. They're coming off a pretty tough loss on the road to Alabama. But they're at home for this one against LSU, with a 1.5 point favorite being Vanderbilt. I want to like LSU. I want to put them up there as a top contender for the national title. But where's the offense, man? Where the O? You got the D. I think you got one of the top 5 defenses in all of college football. But where the O, man? What's the quarterback name? Niedermeyer, Niedermeyer, Lismeyer, something like that? Where the O at, man? You got receivers. You got a decent line. Where the O? Bring the offense. Kelly need to open the playbook. Let you throw that ball around. I mean, how you going to win the national title when you barely can score 20 points in the game? You barely can do that. If you do that, you're like, whoa, what happened to the offense tonight? They must have got their act together. No, it doesn't happen often enough. Not for me. I know they're number 10 probably mainly because they have a great defense. But you got to at least be able to score 3 touchdowns. If you want to have a chance to be national champions, you got to be able to score at least 3 touchdowns in the game. And they don't do that on a consistent basis. So I can't be sold on LSU. They got to show me some more on offense. That's me. They got to show me more. They really do. And the quarterback for Vanderbilt, Tavia, he's the truth. He ain't no joke. He wasn't a joke last year. He's gotten better this year. But his problem is he makes, against Alabama, he made critical mistakes late in the game. Can't do that against LSU. LSU got a great defense. So he has to be on his game from kickoff to last shot to the end of the game. He has to be on his game. This is not going to be a blowout in either way. I think this game is going to come down in the very end. That's why there's such a small point spread. I think Vegas got it right on this one because I think this game is going to come down to who has the ball last. And for that, I'm going to take Vanderbilt. I'll take Vanderbilt and lay the 1.5. I believe Vanderbilt will win this on either a late touchdown or a late field goal. The over-under we got on this one is 48.5. I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this one because LSU's defense, let's say, is stout. So I'm going to take the under on the 48.5. But I'll take Vanderbilt to win it. All right. One more I'm going to get to. One more. And that would be, I'm going to call this one as Arizona State at home against Texas Tech. Now, got a point spread for Texas Tech at 7.5 with an over-under 51.5. Texas Tech. Now, there's a little snaggy thing about the Big 12. You know, you got BYU, you got Utah, who I believe are playing this weekend or next weekend. But you got BYU, you got Utah. You also have Texas Tech. Now, I don't think there's going to be more than like maybe 2 spots in the college football playoff at best for the Big 12. Definitely be the one who wins the Big 12, but there might be one other team might squeeze in. For Texas Tech to not be that one other team to squeeze in, these are games they have to win. Conference games on the road. Now, they beat Utah in Utah. Arizona State is not no slouch. They're not no slouch, especially at home. So, Texas Tech going to have to be on their PQ or Nesses on this one. But I'm going to take Texas Tech to win it. But I'll take Arizona State to cover. 7.5 point spread. I'll take the points for Arizona State. But I think Texas Tech will win a close game. over under 51.5. Yep. Because like I've said before, and I say it again, and I say it again, and I keep saying it. They don't play no defense in the Big 12. Oh, yeah, they do the top thing. No, they don't. Big 12's tradition is no defense. All the old no D. Defense optional. So I'll take the over in the 51.5. They don't play defense in that Big 12. They never do. Yeah, one team might have an anomaly and play give a decent defensive effort, but don't think that's going to be a tradition. Don't think that's going to be consistent. It never is. Over for the 51.5. Arizona will cover. Texas Tech will win. It's a 4 o'clock game Eastern time. All right. So those are my 5 intriguing picks for the 5 intriguing matchups for Week 8 in college football. Now, let's jump over to the NFL. Let's jump over into the NFL and let's see what we're working with. All right. Again, all picks against the spread. We got another London game Sunday morning at 9:30. Just got the Rams at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are the home team. This game will take place, I believe, in Wembley. I know it will take place in London. I don't know if it's Wembley Stadium or not Townsburg, but it will be in London, 9:30 in the morning, Sunday. We got the Rams favorite at 3-point favorite. Jacksonville had me fooled. They did. They had me fooled when they beat the Chiefs. I'm thinking Jacksonville's on their way. Almost put them in my top 5 that week. Almost. Then they went out and laid an egg against the Seahawks. Let the Seahawks come from way up in the Pacific Northwest. Way out there. Come down to Jacksonville and beat the tar. That's what they did. Beat the tar. So you had me fooled. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, it ain't happening. I'll take the Rams and I'll lay that 3 points. Rams just have a little bit more offense than the Jaguars at this point. That's why I see it. I'll take the Rams and I'll give them the 3. Got an over-under of 44.5. Take the under. I think jet lag will prevent these teams from lighting it up on the scoreboard. It always does. Then these overseas games never, you never see a flurry of points. Not too much. So I'll take the under on the 44.5, but I'll take the Rams to win this game outright. Again, that's a 9:30 Eastern early morning start on next Sunday. Now, next, the Philadelphia Eagles on the road against the Vikings. Philadelphia is favored by 2.5 with a 43.5 over under. I don't know which way to go on this one because the Eagles, let's face it, they lost the last 2 games. The offenses look disjointed, to say the least. I mean, the Giants pasted them, made them look like, who are you? You don't look like the defending Super Bowl champions right now. And the Giants did that. Now, I don't know if they're going to right this wrong, but they better. They better. Because the Giants are coming, and that division could tighten up real tight if the Eagles lose this game this weekend. I know why it's a close, very tight margin as far as the betting line. You really don't know what to expect from these 2 teams. They're up and down and up and down. You just don't know what to expect. The only reason why I'm going to take the Eagles is because they got more talent. I believe they have more talent on offense than the Vikings. But you can't sell the Vikings short, especially when they're at home. But the only reason why I'm going to take the Eagles in this one is because of the talent level. I think the Eagles have much more talent on their offense than the Vikings. But talent only gets you so far. Right now, the chemistry on the offense for the Eagles is a mess. And you can see it. It is a mess. This is a game where they can get it right. And I'm going to hope against hope that they get it right. Because I still believe the Eagles are one of the best teams in the NFL. I'll take the Eagles. I'll give the 2.5. I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right. I don't know. Because that offense, let's face it, you've seen it. It's looked a little off shape, off kilter. It's definitely not lined up. They're definitely not lined up on the same page. Hopefully they can get back on the same page with this game on the road. We'll find out. Give me the Eagles, and I'll lay the 2.5. I'm gonna go under on the over/under though. Until the Eagles offense gets their ship righted and back on course, I'll take the under probably on this one. But I'll take the Eagles and win it. It's a 1:00 kick. Next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders on the road. Just Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. This is an easy one. 12.5 point favorite for the Chiefs. I'll take it. They can have them points. Vegas can have them points. They can have them. Their defense stinks. Their offense. Geno Smith is a turnover machine waiting to happen. All you got to do is put coins in that machine. Here comes a turnover. That's all he does. Turn the ball over. I wonder if they haven't benched Geno Smith yet. I don't think that whoever's coming in to replace him is going to be any better. I tried to tell y'all, don't sleep on the Chiefs. And now they're getting Rashid Rice back for this game. He served his six-week penance, 6-game suspension. He served his penance, and now he's back. So now Pat Mahomes getting his full complement of weapons back. Uh-oh. I mean, you saw how he's looked the last couple of games. That's all I got to say. Give me the Chiefs, and they can have them 12.5 points. They might need them more than the Chiefs do. They can have them. But I'm telling you, don't sleep on the best. And right now, the Chiefs are the best in the AFC until somebody proves to me that they can beat them. And right now, he's Pat Mahomes. Again. He's getting all his players back. Xavier Worthy, Rashid Rice. I'll take the Chiefs and the 12. I'll give the 12.5. Over under 45.5. I'll go under. Raiders ain't got no offense. They ain't got enough offense to hang with the Chiefs in Kansas City. So we don't even worry about the over under. I'll take the Chiefs. You can have that 12.5 Raiders. You gonna need it. That's a 1:00 kick. Next week on the list, we got the known Saints and the Chicago Bears. Early 1:00 kick. Bears are favored by 4.5 with over under 46.5. Hey, they beat the Commanders in Washington. You really think I'm going to pick against them with the Saints? And the Bears are at home? The Saints? Nah, that's stupid. Give me the Bears. The Saints can have it 4.5. They can have it. I'll take the Bears. Thank you very much. Caleb Williams is looking better. Let's put it like that. Caleb Williams is getting a lot better over the past 3 weeks. He's gotten a lot better. He's making better reads. He's learning when to drop, hang on that ball and run. He's not scrambling and running for his life like he was. He's looked better. And when he's looked better, the Bears have played. I think the Bears have played like inspirational. They did that against Washington. And that's why they won that game, I think. You got the Saints. Now, only thing I will be concerned with if I'm a Bears fan is you going from Washington, that's sugar, the Saints. You know what that is. Will they drop their guard against one of the worst teams in the NFL? I hope not. That's why I'm going with the Bears. And I'll give the Saints the 4.5. Over under 46.5. We're going to go under. I don't think the Saints have enough offense whatsoever. They got Alvin Kamara on a lot. You saw a lot of, that Saints team, they got a lot of problems. So I go under on the 46.5. Bears at minus 4.5. I'll take that. 1:00 kick. Next, we got the Putrid Bowl. The Futility Bowl, I call it. We got 2 1-5 teams going at it on the lakefront. We got the Miami Dolphins heading up to Cleveland to play the Browns. Both teams are 1-5. Amazingly and shockingly, the Browns are favored in this game by 2.5 points, with an over under 36.5. I don't know why anybody would favor the Browns. And you're talking to a Browns fan. This is a Browns fan right here. But I don't know why anybody in Vegas would favor the Browns when this team cannot score 2 touchdowns in a game. They can't score 2 touchdowns in a game. They've only done it once this year, where they've scored more than 1 touchdown. Why would you favor it? I don't care if it is the Dolphins. Why would you favor the Cleveland Browns in any game, no matter if they're playing the best team in the league or the worst? Why would you favor them when they can't even score? I don't know. Maybe it's because the turmoil and infighting with the Dolphins between the quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and the coach Mike McDaniel. I don't know. Or maybe it's just because Cleveland's at home. I don't know. But I said this, I believe Wednesday. I know I've said this earlier this week on one of my shows. I said this game is going to decide who stays and who gets fired. I guarantee it. I put my last dollar on it. The loser of this particular game will lose their head coach. And they should. I don't care what the method to the madness is with the Browns. I don't care if they tanking on purpose. I don't care if they're just riding this out just to blow it up at the end of the season. I don't care. The loser of this game should lose their head coach by Monday morning. You lose to a 1-6 team, and you're 1-5 team, and you're 1-5. You got issues. You got issues a lot more than just offense and defense. It's just the culture just needs to be blown up and built back from the bottom. We'll find out if anybody bothers to watch this game. I don't really even want to make a pick on this game because both teams stink. One can't score offense, one can't score offense, another one doesn't have any defense. Something's got to give. Reluctantly, I'm going to pick the Browns and give it 2.5, only because they're at home. Only reason why I'm doing it, because they're at home. Over under 36.5, I'm definitely going under. There's no question I'm taking the under. I don't think either one of these teams are going to score 20 points. I feel that. I don't think any one of these teams is going to score 20 points. I think the final score will probably be 16-10, something like that. Bunch of damn field goals and maybe a touchdown each. Maybe. I'll take the Browns at 2.5. That's a 1:00 kick. Now, next, Carolina Panthers. They feeling themselves now after taking down the Dallas Cowboys. And they should be feeling themselves a lot because they're on the road against the 0-6 New York Jets. Got the Carolina Panthers only favored by 1.5 points, though, with an over-under of 42.5. What gives? Hey, it's the Panthers. They shut out the Falcons, who have statistically the top offense and the second rated offense and the number one defense statistically in all the NFL. Hell, Carolina shut them out 30-0. They walked off the Cowboys 30-27. So why are they a 1.5-point favorite against the 0-6 Jets? What gives? Is somebody hurt that I don't know about? Why would you be a 1.5? Oh, I looked at that the wrong way. No, I didn't. Why would you be only favored by 1.5? Why would you only be favored by 1.5 against the New York Jets, who have not won a game? Who don't even know how to manage the clock at the end of halves? I think Carolina will roll in this game. I'll take the Panthers, and 1.5 I think is a little too small. It should be like 6.5. Carolina is going to roll. The Jets can't get out of their own way on offense or defense. Defense, they look good because they held down the Denver Broncos, held them down. But on offense, really, they can't get out of their own way. I don't know if it's the quarterback. I don't know if it's the coaching staff. Maybe it's a little bit of both. And neither one of them on the same page as the other. You saw that last weekend in London. When they somehow managed to run out that clock in the second quarter and not even snap the ball. Not even run a play. I can't trust a team like that. You can't get on the same page. Carolina, and I'll lay the 1.5. Over under 42.5. Let me go low. I'm going to go low on that one. I don't expect there to be too much scoring in that game. That's a 1 o'clock kick. Next, we got New England on the road against the Titans. Ooh, Mike Vrabel. Revenge game. Patriots going to Tennessee. I wonder what Mike Vrabel's thinking now. I'm going to get these bastards. They fired him, what, a year or so ago? Year and a half ago? So, this might be a little nice way to get a little get back at them. And I think they'll do that just fine with the get back. I mean, the Titans just fired that coach, so they all a mess. Give me the Patriots, and I'll give them the 6.5. They'll need it. They'll need it. Over under 42.5. I like Drake. Drake May, he's been balling and dealing lately. Beat the Bills on the road. Beat the Saints. I like Drake May. And I think he's going to ball out just for his coach. So, I'll take the over 42.5. But give me the Patriots. I'll lay them 6.5. They can have it. They're going to need it. That's a 1 o'clock kick. Next, got two decent teams playing each other. Got the Los Angeles Chargers at home against the Indianapolis Colts. It's going to be a pretty good game, I think. And I think Vegas agrees because they only got the line as Chargers only 1.5 point favorite. So they think this is going to be a good game. I think so too. Two gunslingers going at it. Justin Herbert and Daniel, where the hell did this come from? Jones. I think this is going to be a really high scoring affair, and I think it's going to be a really good matchup. You can't sleep on these Colts. These Colts coming at it. They coming at you. And they look good doing it. Daniel Jones, Taylor, running back, they ain't playing. So the Chargers better be on the P's, Q's, R's, and S's to get this one done. I'm gonna take the Colts though, and I'll take the 1.5. I think the Colts will get this one. I'm starting to believe in Daniel Jones now. The first 2-3 games, I thought it was just a fluke. No, not what the way they've been destroying teams sometimes. I got to start believing in the Colts. I got them in my top 5. So I gotta believe in them if I got them in my top 5. And I believe in them. So give me the Colts and I'll take the 1.5. And give me the under on the over-under and 48.5. That is a late start, 4 o'clock. We got a few more. Got the New York Giants on the road against the Denver Broncos. This should be a good one, too. Jackson Dart against Bo Nix. Two young gunslingers going at it. This should be a good game. It should be an interesting game to watch. But Vegas thinks the Broncos are going to kill the Giants. They got them favored with 7 points with over under 40.5. Now, considering you struggle to score points of any kind against the New York Jets, I think that spread is a little deceiving. The Giants have worked their way back into being, nice little interesting bit to watch with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo. I think they're going to make this game interesting up in Mile High in the city. I'm taking the Giants to win. Yeah, I'm going to go. This is my out of the way pick for the week. This is my Pandora box or out of the box, thinking out of the box pick of the week. I got the New York Giants winning this game outright. I'll take the 7 points, but I think the Giants will win this game by 10. I truly believe they turning this thing around, and they're doing it on the backs of two young rookies. So give me the Giants, and I'll take those 7 points. Thank you very much. I will take the under on the 40.5. I don't think it's going to be that high scoring affair, but that's who I like in this one. Giants and the 7 points. That is a 4 o'clock start. Next, we got old rivalry in the NFC East. Old rivalry, going back to the old days of the NFL. Got the Washington Commanders coming down here to Arlington to take on the Dallas Cowboys as a 4:30 kick. Dallas is favored by 1.5 with an over-under 54.5. Dak's getting his weapons back. That's right. CeeDee Lamb has been cleared to play. So he got his two big weapons at wide receiver. And George Pickens looked pretty damn good in CeeDee's absence. He looked pretty damn good. Now, both of them back. What you going to do on defense? What you going to do? You're going to have to double both of them. You're going to have to. Then what you going to do? This is a game where Dallas should be able to thrive on offense. You got your two bona fide wide receivers back. They got to be double teamed. You ain't gonna single guard either one of these two receivers. You do that at your own risk. So that leaves the middle wide open. Tight end should have some running backs should have a feast if they execute. Now, we all know Dallas' defense stinks like hot garbage on a cold December day, and you standing right next to it. We know that. So Dak should be happy that he's getting CD back because he's going to need to put up points in bunches to win this game. Let's face it, the Dallas defense is what they are. And I don't see it anywhere where they're going to get any better. I just don't see it. At least not this year. I don't care what Jerry Jones said. We have a defensive line, best defensive line that we've ever had. Huh? You're giving up 190 points total through 6 games, and you said that? Okay. I'll take Dallas just simply because they're at home. That's the only reason why I want to take the Cowboys, because they're at home and because CeeDee Lamb is back. So I'll take the Cowboys and I'll lay the 1.5 with the over under 54.5. I'll go under. That is a 4:30 kick. Next, we got Green Bay traveling to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Cardinals, they're disappointing. I know, they're disappointing. They are. They're disappointing. But I think they can win this game. I'm going to take the Cardinals. And then give me the 6.5. They may not win, but I think they'll cover. So give me the Cardinals. 6.5. Over under 44.5. I'll take the over on it. I think it's going to be a high scoring affair. Because if the Cardinals don't win this game, who want to believe in them? They need this game, and they know it. And I think they'll get it. Or at the very least, they'll cover their spread. I'll take the Cardinals, and I'll take the 6.5, at least to cover. Sunday night game. This should be a good one. You got the Atlanta Falcons heading to the Bay to take on the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are favored by 1.5 with an over-under 46.5. Now, surprisingly, and I just learned this myself, the Falcons have, statistically, the best defense and the second best offense in the NFL. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I was like, huh? The best defense, statistically, and the statistically second best offense. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew Atlanta knew how to play defense? Buffalo. Buffalo found out Monday night, didn't they? And we all say this. Defense tends to travel. Will it travel to the Bay this weekend? I hope so. I really do hope so. They got to take advantage. Atlanta has to take advantage of the injuries that the 49ers are going through. They got to take advantage of that. I know it sucks for all those injuries the 49ers have, but the Atlanta Falcons ain't got no team has time to feel sorry for them, and the Falcons shouldn't either. I want to believe in the Falcons. I want to rise up, like they say. But they got to show that to me on the road. Last time they were on the road, they got pasted by the Carolina Panthers, 30-0. And this is the 49ers they're playing in Levi Stadium. They got to show me something before I can pick them on the road. Give me 49ers and lay the 1.5. I'm going to go under on the over-under 46.5. Until the Falcons show me that they can do this on the road, I can't trust them yet. 49ers, and I'll lay the 1.5. That is an 8:30 Sunday kick. And last but not least, we got two Monday Niners. We got Tampa Bay at Detroit and Houston at Seattle. For both of these teams, I'm going to take the home team. Both of these games, I'm going to take the home game. Even though I have Tampa Bay in my top 5, I got to see if they can actually beat that team in their house. I don't think they can. But if they can, you got to anoint Tampa Bay as the favorite coming out of the NFC. Or at least a favorite to take on the Eagles out of the NFC to go to the Super Bowl. But I don't think they can do it. As far as Houston and Seattle, I don't think Houston has enough offense to hang with the Seahawks in the Pacific Northwest. And Seahawks are surprisingly having a decent season. Surprisingly. I didn't think they had that when with Sam Darnold at quarterback, but they are having a pretty decent season with him as QB. So, I'll take the Detroit Lions, and I'll lay the 5.5. And I'll take the Seattle Seahawks, and I'll lay the 3. The over-under on the Tampa-Detroit game is 52.5. I will go over on that one. Even though Tampa Bay is all their wide receivers are banged up, I still believe that's going to be a higher scoring affair than it normally should look like, with one team missing almost all their receivers. But I think it's going to be a little bit of more high scoring affair. As far as Houston and Seattle, 41.5, I'm going under. I will go under on that. So, those are my picks for Pick'em Friday for the NFL and the select college football games coming up this weekend. What do you think? Have I made a crazy pick that I shouldn't have? What about my out of the box pick? Out of the box pick with me taking the Giants over Denver. Think I was crazy for that? Let me know. Drop a comment. Also, like and subscribe. We'll go over these games on Monday. Well, time for the big old with the big mouth to sign off. We'll go over all these games, and we're gonna look at the MLB next week, Monday. We're gonna start looking more seriously at the NBA. The NBA season starts next Tuesday. So we gotta go over these teams, who's gonna win, who's likely to make the NBA finals, who's gonna win the whole thing, and who's gonna be scrubs. We gotta start looking into that, and we will next week. I promise you. So this is the big O with the big mouth signing off from the Sports Ozone. Have a great weekend.